What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Wednesday, July 29th. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about how Runes and Dog are saving Bitcoin. Now, as you know, there is the whole censorship war attacking Runes and Ordinals because they consider that non-monetary. But as you know, block rewards every 4 years get cut in half, meaning miners eventually get rewards that are cut in half as well. So how do they earn revenue? Well, it's from transaction fees. And as you know, as of today, Bitcoin Runes and Dog provide transaction fees on the Bitcoin network that consume over 71% of the network itself, contributing to the miners sticking around. But there is this thing where miners are traveling to AI. But just because that's happening doesn't mean Bitcoin's gonna not come back. I'm going to share with you how many times people have spun this narrative that Bitcoin is dead. And when Bitcoin is considered dead, that's the time to buy. And you know Bitcoin's going to go back up. And you know that Dog is going to ride that wave because every dog themed meme coin has met a new euphoric all-time high. This is like the first parabola event that happens for every dog themed meme coin during Bitcoin's return in price and also price discovery. So I want to cover it in this video because data is super important. Data will help you understand and remove your emotions and see the whole overall picture. So let's get right into it. So let's go ahead and smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So right now, Dog is roughly around, almost close to around 2% to the upside. So it's still above 60 million market cap. We've talked about this multiple times. Another reason why Dog is doing really well today, or just up just a little bit, is because we just found out the Fed is not going to hike interest rates. They're going to keep it around where it is currently. So because of that, there was a lot of news headlines saying that there was most likely going to be an interest rate hike. That was completely false news. So obviously that's nothing to be worried about. And as you can see with the Dog price, is still hovering a little bit below the 50-day moving average line. But again, the 200-day moving average line is still heading down. I'll talk about this at the very end of the video. Now, the reason we're talking about Dog and Runes overall is because they are literally saving Bitcoin. Now, when you pay attention to the overall Runes ecosystem, as you know, CoinGecko has just a Runes coins by market cap category. As you can see, Dog is the #1 rune by market cap, by market share, by mind share. Now, when we look at reports like Bitcoin Magazine, there is some recent news regarding their reports on BIP 110. Now, they reported that declining block rewards are pushing miners toward AI revenue platforms, potentially risking Bitcoin's long-term security. Meanwhile, Ordinals and Runes transaction fees actually pay miners today. But there's also a proposal fork such as BIP 110 that's attempting to attack this critical revenue source. So I'm not going to dive deep into this clip, but I want to dive deep into the research that you did share. So let's get right into it. So I want you to pay attention to something. This is the hash ribbons indicator. Now, as you can see, the blue and purple line, these are basically the hash ribbons. Now, what have you noticed? Ever since like roughly end of 2025 all the way up until 2026, you have just seen a massive drawdown for the first time that we've ever seen with the hash ribbons. So that means there is less incentive for miners to really stick around because there's not a lot of hash power. And even in the time of Bitcoin's history, it's always been considerably going up and up and up. All of a sudden, it started trending downwards. It's because these block rewards aren't really paying these miners enough. And here's another chart. This is the miner revenue. As you see, the miner revenue, which is in orange, is literally cut in half. Every single time it's cut in half every 4 years. That means their block rewards literally get cut in half. So as much as they want to validate transactions and make money, the interest just isn't there. Meaning monetary transactions, which is people sending and receiving Bitcoin, just isn't as active. And the reason for that is, if you focus on what happened recently, there was a massive drawdown. That massive drawdown is also due to the fact that these institutions, such as BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco, you name it, they're using ETFs. And that draws everything off chain using these synthetic versions of Bitcoin. So that removes a lot of the on-chain activity. And when you remove on-chain activity, that means that there's not going to be a lot of revenue for these miners. And that's very concerning. Here's another chart, miner revenue with fees versus rewards. Now, I want you to notice something, not just in correlation to Bitcoin's price. You see these dashed lines going up and down? Well, let's go ahead and zoom into that just a little bit closer. Now, what you'll notice that every Bitcoin halving with the miner fees are exploding right after a Bitcoin halving. It happened over here, happened over here. But notice something. After the Bitcoin happening over here, after it crosses the dash line, there's not a lot. That's the problem that we're seeing right now, is that these companies, these miner companies, they need to find other sources of revenue. And they're finding it in AI just temporarily right now just to keep their companies afloat. But guess what? These miners are also receiving fees from a different source. Believe it or not, and you've been on this channel before, you know what we're talking about. Runes transactions have absolutely dominated the network. As you can see, the blue is Runes transactions. And then in red, those are other transactions, either just monetary transactions or whatever, right? So you can see that the blue section has actually increased in 2026 because there's now an economy within Bitcoin, not just like a monetary store of value transaction. Literally, there is an economy building within the Bitcoin blockchain. Remember, it's a network, it's a database. So with that said, Runes have contributed over 7 out of 10 transactions on the network. And another thing I want to share with you is that when you look at fungible tokens on Bitcoin, Runes, which are in the blue, they contribute the most. BRC20s have been completely dead and absent. As you know, BRC20 tokens are UTXO not friendly, meaning they bloat the network. But Runes overall don't bloat the network. They actually are not wasteful at all. And you can easily see that right now, Runes, its activity is actually aligned with what's going on with the total transactions. So if I click on monetary transactions, you'll see much of the Runes transactions is correlated with the actual total transactions. They're very much aligned, as you can see here. So that's why we need to pay attention to this. So someone responded down below and asked me a question. Vincent, if you had to guess, based on your study and effort, do you think we're going to see a bull this year or only at the next halving? Does the dog breed reach around $3 billion to $14 billion in market cap? Well, I will talk about that. Now, remember, how many times have people said that Bitcoin is dead? There have been many different cases where there's some global news event that basically scares any Bitcoin holders from holding Bitcoin. But every single time that people have fallen for the amount of times Bitcoin's been declared dead, which is around 475 times, you would have made $67 million if you spent $100 each of those 475 times. So I'm telling you right now, just because Bitcoin is this low does not mean Bitcoin is dead. AI is not going to kill Bitcoin, all right? If anything, focus on quantum computing, which is something that people are working on right now. But that's later on in the future. Right now, there's nothing actually scaring Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still at play. And as you can see, based on history of Bitcoin's price, every single time that there is a Bitcoin dead event, Bitcoin still continues to go up, even right here. What you're seeing right here happened over here, happened over here, happened over here. It's the exact same pattern. And I think it's because people understand what Bitcoin really is. It's a store of value, and it always will remain to be a store of value. And it can also, on the side, be an active chain. In order for Bitcoin to stay alive, you need to have Dog and Runes stay alive. That's why Dog and Runes right now are saving Bitcoin by keeping miners incentivized to stick around. So yes, I do know for a fact that Bitcoin's going to go higher. You may not believe it now, just like people didn't believe it over here and believe it over here, but Bitcoin's going to go back up. And this goes to talk about Dog, because Dog will also reach new all-time highs. So I mentioned this chart in my previous videos back on July 26th. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to check that out. So you may see that Bitcoin's down negative 49%, but know that every single Dog themed meme coin has reached its all-time high level ever when Bitcoin is reaching price discovery or when Bitcoin's price is going up. That's what happened with Dogecoin when it hit 88 billion. That's what happened to Shiba Inu when it hit 41 billion. That's what happened to Dog with Hat when it hit 4.8, Floki 3.3, Bonk 4.4. Dog hasn't hit that level. Its all-time high was roughly at 999 million market cap, but that's when the Trump meme coin came out and the whole meme coin market and altcoin market drawed down. And as you can see, every dog theme meme coin to date, as Bitcoin has drawed back negative 49%, every dog theme meme coin is down negative 90 to 97%. So now that you know in the previous slide that Bitcoin's going to go back up again, you already know that Dog is going to go back up with Bitcoin as well. You just know it, and that's where it's going to reach its all-time high. And it won't be at, minuscule numbers like 4.4, 3.3. You know it's going to be much higher. Because when you look at this chart, all those other meme coins I just mentioned, those other Dog ones, they're on Ethereum and Solana. Look at their market cap. It's not that big. $233 billion on Ethereum, $44.2 billion on Solana. Look at Bitcoin, $1.29 trillion, not billion, trillion dollars. And the Runes exposure to that liquidity is minuscule, very small. So you know there's more upside because dog right now and runes only make up 0.01%, and all these other meme coins make up much higher, 2% on Ethereum, meme coins on Solana, 6.63% on Solana. Now let's get into charting analysis. Remember, I mentioned about the 200-day moving average. We've been paying attention to this. Notice it fell below this blue line. The reason that's important is because the 200-day moving average is still going down more and more and more. That's its target. So as the 50-day moving average line and the dog price are fighting within each other, the 200-day moving average is heading downwards. That's what we're seeing right now. And again, there's no guarantee when this golden cross does happen that we'll be in a bull market for dog, but it does guarantee that there's a reverse in sentiment. That means buyers are reaching more of the market share and sellers are overexhausted. That's the main point. So with that said, I hope that this video has been very helpful for you to understand how dog and runes are literally saving Bitcoin right now, and they're going to continue to save Bitcoin. So the reason I share with you this data is because this is early signal data. This isn't happening, 2 years down the road. This is happening right now. So when you see activity like this, it gives you the alpha that dog and runes are not only here to stay, but it's necessary for Bitcoin's longevity and health and security and decentralization to have runes and dog stick around before the next bull event. And that's why I think right now the best time to accumulate dog is at this very moment, because when Bitcoin goes back up in price, the transaction fees are going to be much higher and you won't be able to buy dog on chain or off chain at a cheaper price because there's going to be a lot of congestion within the network, just like with Ethereum. Remember when Shiba Inu was really hard to buy on Uniswap and transaction fees were $30 and up to $100? Per transaction? It's going to happen the same thing with Bitcoin. The thing is, are you going to be here at the right time in the right place when transaction fees are like 30 cents? Well, of course you're going to start buying right now. So that's why I want you to focus on this video. Data is more important than emotions. So with that said, I hope that this video has been very helpful. Data tells you everything. So I want to thank all of our supporters and donors. You see your names on the screen right now. Thank you so much. This is what's pushing us to have these dog content videos and rune updates every single day. And I want to thank you especially. So go ahead and smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding dog and moon and runes. Till then, see you guys girls next time.